Have you ever looked at your palm and noticed a faint shape that looks like the letter M? Maybe you've never thought much about it. But here's the thing. This isn't just some random pattern on your hand. It's formed by the way your heart, head, and lifelines connect, and it's actually pretty rare. For centuries, people have believed this mark points to something big: sharp intuition, natural leadership, and even a special kind of success. But there's more to it than that. This mark might sound like a gift, but it comes with challenges. Some even say it's dangerous to have. Why? Because being chosen often means walking a path full of hard choices, heavy responsibilities, and moments of isolation. It's not always easy to live up to what this mark might mean. Different cultures see the letter M in their own way. Some say it's a sign of wisdom and leadership. Others see it as a promise of good fortune or even a spiritual calling. What's clear is that it's not just about luck, it's about potential and the risks that come with it. Before we go further, take a moment to check your own palm. Do you see the letter M? If you do, you might be carrying more than just a unique mark. Don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video. It helps me share more stories like this and lets us keep exploring these ideas together. Now, let's figure out what this mark really means for you and why it's not as simple as it seems. Look closely at your palm. If you see a shape that resembles the letter M, it's more than just a random connection of lines. This mark is formed where three major palm lines meet: the heart line, the head line, and the lifeline. Each of these lines tells a story about your emotions, your thoughts, and your journey through life. When they intersect to form the letter M, it's seen as a unique and powerful sign. The M mark isn't something everyone has, which makes it rare and significant. People who carry this mark are often believed to have heightened intuition. They notice things others miss and can read situations and people with an almost uncanny accuracy. This intuition isn't just a skill, it's more like a built-in guide that shapes how they navigate life. But it doesn't stop there. The M is also tied to leadership. Those with this marking are often natural decision makers. They have a way of stepping up when things get tough, inspiring confidence in others. On top of that, there's a belief that these individuals have a knack for handling finances, whether it's in their personal lives or professional pursuits. They might not always realize it, but they tend to make choices that lead to long-term success. While all of this sounds amazing, having the M mark isn't without its challenges. From an early age, people with this mark might feel a sense of responsibility they can't quite explain. They may struggle to fit in, feeling like their way of thinking is just different. This can lead to moments of loneliness or being misunderstood, especially when they see or sense things that others don't. For some, it's not easy to embrace their gifts when they're surrounded by people who don't see the world the same way. And then there's the weight of potential. Having this mark can sometimes feel like being pulled in two directions. On one hand, it's a sign of incredible purpose. On the other, it comes with the risk of doubt, wondering if you're doing enough or if you're on the right path. For many, this internal conflict starts early, shaping how they approach life and relationships. The M is a reminder of possibility, but it also asks a lot from those who have it. The question is, are you ready to live up to what it represents? The M on your palm isn't just a symbol, it's a sign of something bigger, something that starts shaping your life before you even realize it. For most, the early days of life feel simple, carefree, and full of play. But if you have this mark, chances are your childhood wasn't quite like everyone else's. The qualities tied to the letter M, intuition, leadership, and emotional depth, don't wait for adulthood to show up. They often start making themselves known when you're just a kid. And while these traits are powerful, they come with their own challenges. From a young age, people with the M mark often feel like they're a little ahead of their peers, even if they don't fully understand why. It's not about being smarter or faster. It's more about how they see the world. They might notice things other kids overlook, like the emotions of the people around them or patterns in situations that seem invisible to others. This heightened sensitivity can feel overwhelming, especially when the people around them don't recognize it. Imagine being a child and sensing something is wrong, but when you voice it, adults brush it off. That's the kind of experience many with the M mark face early on. These individuals also tend to show a natural ability to lead. Maybe you were the one your friends looked to when they didn't know what to do, or maybe you felt an urge to take charge in group situations, even if you didn't want to. But here's where the danger comes in. This leadership quality can make a child stand out in ways that aren't always appreciated. Other kids might see it as bossy or different, and this can lead to feelings of being left out or misunderstood. And then there's the financial acumen. Even as children, people with the M mark may have a knack for making decisions that pay off later. Maybe you were good at saving money from a young age, or naturally understood how to prioritize what was important. But again, this isn't always seen as a positive by peers who might not understand this way of thinking. The emotional depth tied to this mark can also set a child apart. While others are focused on the surface-level fun of life, a child with the M mark might already be grappling with big questions about purpose and meaning. They may find themselves spending time alone, not because they want to, but because their thoughts feel too big for the people around them. This emotional intensity can make them feel isolated or even cause self-doubt when they struggle to relate to others their age. The danger during childhood is subtle but significant. It's not about facing big external challenges. It's about the inner battle of feeling like you don't quite belong. The world might not be ready to embrace your gifts yet, leaving you to wonder if something's wrong with you. But the truth is, these early struggles are the first signs of the potential that lies within. Even as a child, the M mark is already calling you towards something greater. It just takes time to see it for what it really is. As childhood gives way to adolescence, the challenges tied to the letter M don't just disappear, they evolve, becoming more complex and at times even harder to navigate. The sensitivity, intuition, and leadership qualities that made you feel different as a child now begin to solidify. But with this growing clarity comes an equally strong sense of conflict. The world starts to demand conformity, and the struggle to balance your unique traits with societal expectations can feel overwhelming. In adolescence, the sense of purpose tied to the letter M often becomes more apparent. You may start noticing that your ability to understand people or predict outcomes is sharper than ever. Maybe you've realized that your intuition is rarely wrong, even when it goes against what others believe. Leadership might begin to feel like a natural role, whether you want it or not. But these strengths can also make you question yourself. Why does it feel like no one else sees the world the way you do? Why do others seem comfortable fitting into roles or routines while you feel pulled towards something bigger, something you can't fully explain yet? This is where the real challenge of adolescence comes in. The need to fit in can clash with the deep sense of individuality the M mark brings. Society often pushes us to follow the same paths, make friends, follow trends, and blend in. For someone with the M mark, this pressure can feel suffocating. The danger here is losing sight of who you really are in an attempt to be like everyone else. It's tempting to suppress your intuition or downplay your leadership qualities just to avoid standing out. But doing so can leave you feeling even more disconnected. Interestingly, the letter M holds different meanings across cultures, which might give some context to the challenges you face. In Western palmistry, the M is often seen as a sign of good fortune and success. It's believed to mark someone destined for significant achievements, though that path may not always be straightforward. In Vedic traditions, the mark is tied to wisdom and leadership, seen as a symbol of spiritual strength and responsibility. These interpretations highlight the dual nature of the M mark. It's a sign of great potential, but it also comes with a weight that can feel heavy, especially during these formative years. Adolescence becomes a kind of refinement process for those with the letter M. The experiences and internal struggles during this time aren't just challenges, they're shaping you into the person you're meant to be. The question isn't whether you can live up to the potential of the M, it's whether you can hold on to your true self while navigating a world that often prefers conformity over individuality. The struggles of adolescence may feel overwhelming, but they serve as a preparation, a kind of training ground for what's to come. As you step into adulthood, the traits tied to the letter M begin to take center stage. What once felt like a burden or an unanswered question now starts to make sense. This is when the puzzle pieces of your life begin to fall into place, revealing the bigger picture. But with this clarity comes a new challenge. the responsibility of embracing your purpose or the danger of ignoring it. In adulthood, the strengths linked to the M mark, intuition, leadership, and financial potential, often become undeniable. Your intuition sharpens, helping you make decisions that others might not fully understand, but that almost always seem to lead to the right outcome. Leadership becomes more than just an opportunity. It feels like a calling. Whether it's guiding a team, taking charge in your personal life, or influencing others in subtle ways, people naturally look to you for direction. And your financial acumen, the ability to see opportunities where others don't, starts to translate into tangible success. This is also a time when cultural interpretations of the M mark take on new meaning. In Western palmistry, adulthood is seen as the period when those with the M truly shine, achieving success and influencing others with their unique talents. In Vedic traditions, this is when the wisdom and leadership associated with the mark fully manifest, but it's also when the responsibility tied to these gifts becomes heavier. These perspectives highlight the dual nature of adulthood for those with the M. It's a time of great potential, but also a time when the weight of expectation grows. However, adulthood isn't without its dangers. The biggest risk is ignoring the spiritual call of the M mark. The world often tempts us to follow a path of least resistance, to settle into routines and chase goals that might seem practical but don't align with who we really are. For those with the M mark, this can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction, a feeling that something important is missing, even if everything looks fine on the surface. Ignoring the pull of your intuition and the opportunities for leadership might seem easier in the moment, but it often leads to a life that feels incomplete. Adulthood is when the potential of the M mark truly begins to unfold, but it's also when the stakes are highest. This is the time to recognize your gifts for what they are and use them to create the life you're meant to live. The question now is, will you answer the call or let it fade away? The choice is yours, but the impact of that choice will ripple through everything you do. As adulthood unfolds, the weight of your purpose becomes more apparent. The traits tied to the letter M, intuition, leadership, and the ability to navigate challenges, aren't just abstract ideas anymore. They begin shaping your life in ways you can't ignore. And while adulthood is a time of alignment and opportunity, it's also when the call to fulfill your mission becomes louder, stronger, and impossible to avoid. This is the point where the road splits. You can either embrace what you're meant for, or risk losing a part of yourself by turning away. The call isn't a dramatic event, it's more like a steady, undeniable pull. It's in the decisions you make, the paths you feel drawn to, and the moments when your intuition whispers so clearly that it's almost as if someone is speaking to you. Ignoring it might feel easier in the short term, but over time, the tension builds. The call doesn't fade, it intensifies, demanding your attention. This clarity can feel liberating, but it also brings immense responsibility. Knowing your purpose means you can't pretend anymore. You have to act. But stepping into this role isn't without its challenges. The traits that make you unique, your intuition, leadership, and ability to stand out, can also set you apart in ways that feel isolating. People might not understand your decisions or the way you approach life. Criticism can come from unexpected places, and the pressure to conform doesn't completely disappear. Embracing your purpose requires courage, not just to take on the responsibility, but to keep moving forward when others don't see what you see. So how do you handle this? The first step is to trust your intuition. Those with the M mark often have a natural sense of what's right for them. It's a gift that's been with you since childhood. Start listening to that inner voice more closely, especially when making important choices. Next, lean into leadership roles, whether they're formal or informal. Your ability to guide and inspire others is one of your greatest strengths, and it's through these moments that your purpose often reveals itself. Lastly, consider incorporating spiritual practices into your life. Whether it's meditation, journaling, or simply spending time reflecting, these habits can help you stay grounded and connected to your purpose. The most powerful thing about those with the M mark is their ability to inspire others. Your presence, your actions, and your light have the potential to guide those around you, even when they don't realize it. But standing in this light means accepting the shadows that come with it. criticism, misunderstanding, and the occasional feeling of being alone. These challenges aren't meant to hold you back. They're part of what makes your purpose so meaningful. The question isn't whether the call will come, it already has. The real question is, how will you respond? Will you step forward and embrace the responsibility, or will you let it pass you by? Whatever you choose, know this: the world is waiting for what only you can bring. The letter M on your palm is more than just a coincidence. It's a sign of something profound, something rare. It's a reminder that you carry extraordinary traits: sharp intuition, natural leadership, and the ability to navigate challenges with a strength that others might not fully understand. But it's not without its challenges. This mark represents purpose, yes, but also the responsibility and risks that come with stepping into your role as someone truly unique. Across cultures, the letter M is seen as a powerful symbol, whether it's tied to good fortune and success in Western traditions or wisdom and leadership in Vedic beliefs. Spiritually, it's a call to something greater, a mission that can guide your life in ways that are deeply meaningful. Practically, it's about using your gifts to create a life that feels authentic to who you are, one that aligns with the potential this mark represents. But the question remains: what will you do with this knowledge? The letter M is both a blessing and a challenge. It asks you to face the difficulties that come with standing out, to rise above the noise, and to step into the light of your own purpose. Will you answer its call, or will you let it remain just a mark on your hand? If this message resonates with you, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and stick with us as we uncover more about what makes you and your purpose so unique. There's so much more to explore, and your journey is just beginning.